These are the 5 card making techniques that I keep coming back to, and I use them all in one card. Well, I meant to.
But before we get to what went wrong, let's talk layered die cuts. These have been huge for me and one of my go-to supplies. I have been thoroughly enjoying all kinds of layered die cuts. Like, it's not just flowers, although I love flowers and they are such a versatile element to add to a card. They can be used for so many different occasions, but now there's so many different options for layered die cuts, including really cute sort of critter images and also sentiments. Like, the options are endless and you can step them up. You can do things like add ink blending like I'm doing here. If you are starting with some coloured cardstock, use an ink that's a little bit darker, because have a little look later on, but you'll notice you'll barely see a lot of the dimension that I've added with this ink. It kind of, because it's a dye ink, it dyes into the paper, and as it dries it will lighten. So don't be afraid to start with maybe a little bit more than you think you need. The other way that I'm going to step this up today, this is a new to me tool. It's an old style tool and I've been using ball styluses for years, but man, look at the size of the balls on these styluses. They're huge and it can really add some amazing dimension with this. So perfect for when you're making flowers. You can even use them on other images. And what they're basically doing, I'm using them to add extra dimension to the petals on this flower. You can add lines. I'm trying to kind of make them look a little bit more realistic here. So it's basically crushing the fibers in the paper. I know it's not a nice thought, but that's what's going to give it the dimension. And it doesn't take really long to do, and it's easy. This black piece of foam just gives it a little bit of bounce. And if you don't have a ball stylus, then you can use anything that's got like a round end on it and get a similar effect. And just use like maybe a mouse pad or something that's just got a little bit of give to make it a bit easier to add that dimension. And you can see here that the ink is already less obvious on the cardstock. Check out all that dimension, and it's time to assemble the flower. And one of my favorite things that I've been really enjoying is the keyhole system. Altenew have introduced this, and basically it makes layering die cuts so easy. Other companies have like similar guides or impression on die cuts too. Like Spellbinders, I really enjoy using their layering die cuts as well. They're very intuitive and easy to use. With all the new layering dies that are available now, and they are awesome, I feel like I've been neglecting like all my colouring pencils and markers and paints. So I'm hoping to get those out and, maybe combine the two. And I do that because you can always add colour to your layered die cuts with markers, paints or pencils. So it's good that they can be used. I do need to get back into a bit of colouring. I am missing it. And speaking of colour, this is one thing that I have really embraced a change in recently, and I've been using a lot more pastel shades, lighter tones. I think they give a really modern look to a design, and it's nice to change things up because I've always been a bright girl. I've always used really bright colours. So for me, the pastels have been a winner or a game changer for me. I don't know if you have a tendency to really kind of use just one style or tone of colour, because we do kind of get a little bit, well, I get a little bit set in my ways about what colours I'm using on a project, and I look back at my photos and I think, oh, I've just used the same colours over and over. But it's A really good place to start if you're not sure what you're going to do with the project is start with the colours you love. Or if you've lost your mojo, start with the colours you love. And I've been enjoying the pastels, so that's what I've been sharing. The other thing I've been enjoying is layered stencils. Oh my gosh, they have been the whole stenciling era has stepped up to the next level. Now this is an older stencil set, a really easy one to use, but what I love the most about using stencils is that I can still hoard my design paper because I'm basically making my own design paper. And really, you don't have to have layering stencils. You can use a single stencil and get a multitude of looks. But with layering stencils, you can really get a proper design. Like this is a floral background. And because I'm colouring it the way I want, I can choose what colours I'm using. So it's going to be something that matches my project perfectly. I can do it in the depth of colour that I want. I want this one to be very light, airy, and yes, pastel-y. Is that a word? But I could have done a really bold colour on these leaves instead. I could have used my go-to orange and pinks on the leaves and on the buds of the flowers. So the great thing about having stencils or layering stencils is you can build a design in the colours and in the style that you want to suit your specific project of the day, because this is going to look very different depending on how I'm layer up the colours and how I place the stencil as well. Plus, you have the added bonus is you can add dimension with stencils by using pastes, glitter pastes. You can even paint through stencils with watercolours. I know, right? And anyone can colour with a stencil. So, like I said, my pencils, my paints, and my markers have been a little neglected because of the stencils and the layered die cuts. One thing I've been loving is adding extra texture to a background panel. So this has already got a pattern, but adding a subtle texture takes it to the next level. I think it does anyway. And I've been using both cover plates as well as embossing folders, and I had the most beautiful cover plate lined up sitting right beside me, ready to add texture to this panel. And what went wrong? Well, I completely forgot. I just completely forgot to add the texture, to use the die. I don't know if it would have been too much. And I did look at the card after when I finally realised what I'd done. I'd even taken the photos. And I thought, I can't pull it apart to add the texture. So maybe I'll just have to remake another version of this card and add the texture. And I'd love to know if you think that texture would have made a difference, or maybe it would have been too much. I don't know. It was pretty subtle. It would have been subtle. I've linked it down below if you want to see exactly which die I was going to use. You have to scroll right to the bottom though. And the next thing I've been loving is adding dimension more. Well, not like there's not enough dimension in this card already, but I'm going to add more. I've got these simple pop-up dies and they're a lot of fun. You don't have to have the dies to make this. You can easily make your own version just with a paper trimmer and a scoreboard. And all it is a die that cuts a long piece of cardstock that you can fold down and create a pop-up for either the front of a card or the inside of a card. I like the fact that if I use them on the front of the card, it allows me to be able to push the elements that I'm popping up fairly flat, which is really good for postage. Mind you, it's probably not going to be very relevant for this specific card because it's already about 100 layers thick. So adding another pop-up element, why not? It's going to be hand delivered, I would say. Or I use a rigid mailer, which is like a mini box in the size of the card almost, but it's going to protect the card when it's in transit if I am going to post it. And I might have forgotten to tell you that I have a bonus technique, and I've been making multiple sentiments all in one go. I don't know why I haven't been doing this before now, Normally I look at a card, I try and work out what sentiment I want. I'm a last minute sentiment person. I don't know what your category is, but normally I make the card without a plan for the sentiment unless it's the main focus of the card. But I always choose the sentiment last, so I have to make it fit. And I would stamp something out, try it, and then stamp something else out and try it. Now what I can do, because I'm making these bulk sentiments, I can just sort of switch them out and around and see what I like the look of. And it's particularly good if I'm using a foiling version for a sentiment or a better press version. I can just cut out a stack at once and I don't have to get out any extra machinery while I'm making a card, and it just speeds up the process. It's been a huge game changer. You've probably been doing it for years, but I'm slow on the uptake. And the techniques altogether, the layered die cuts where we did a beautiful floral, did the layered stencil background, but I forgot to add the texture. I used that really pretty pastel colour palette, which I've been drawn towards, as well as extra dimension with the pop-up. Let me know if any of these card making techniques are your favourite as well, or if you have a different one. Let us all know in the comments below. I've also got 2 more videos here for you to enjoy. I look forward to seeing you there. And if you liked this one, don't forget to click the thumbs up button and subscribe if you haven't. What are you waiting for? It's totally free. I'll be back again real soon. Till then, happy paper crafting. Bye.